Wall Street Memes Casino,
I'm fine.
and Sportsbook.
This is KUGAN CASSIUS for IFLTV. Delighted to be joined by Mr. Frank Warren. Bit hot on it, Frank?
It is, mate. Yeah, very hot.
Right, let's crack through. Have you spoke to the birthday boy today, Mr. Tyson Fury?
I sent him a message and he sent me one back, so he's obviously enjoying himself.
But, I mean, look, we're still a little bit away from Riyadh on the 21st, but it'll soon quickly come around, won't it?
We will do, no doubt about that. But, you know, I don't think he won't get into sort of serious training until October, but he's, you know, he needed him and I think Usyk both needed a bit of a break after that tough fight.
Absolutely. But before we can even think about that, there's a lot of stuff obviously coming up before that, Frank. Let's start obviously with this week. You've got a show at York Hall, being headlined by Denzel Bentley there, Frank. Talk to us a little bit about that show.
It's a cracker. It's a good fight, and Denzel's, you know, it is a tough fight for him. He can't afford to slip up, but you know, it's a lot on the line for both of them. And the winner, whoever comes through, going to really will do extremely well. Denzel at the moment is ranked number 2 in the WBO. Hamzah's ranked number 1, and there was talk of maybe making the two of them for a final eliminator, or trying to make a final eliminator for the title. So it's quite, you know, there's a lot on the line, for him.
That'll be live on TNT Sports from York Hall. This
a cracking card. There's some good fights on there. Really good fights on there. Good fight card.
Absolutely. Frank, I know this week you kind of made some comments regarding potentially in the future, your man Hamzah Sheeraz and in some people's eyes, pound for pound #1, Terence Crawford. Fancy that one day?
Yeah, I do. I think next year it'd be a good fight to make. You know, he had a tough fight out last time, Crawford against Madrimov, and there weren't a lot in that fight. And he showed he's a fantastic fighter. We don't really need to say that. I think everybody knows that he's a fantastic fighter. But I thought Madrimov? I thought boxed extremely well for a guy who's only had 10 fights going into that as a pro. I mean, a wealth of amateur experience, but a really, really good performance. It was a bit like watching a Lomachenko. You know, those guys, you know, they don't turn pro till they're older, and they're quite experienced by the time, you know, from the experience they have from the amateurs. They bring that with them. But you know, it was a lot of people thought it was going to be not an easy fight, but he was dealing well, and I thought it was a close fight. I thought he won it, Crawford, and he won it probably with the fact he was more experienced as a professional fighter.
Frank, the last couple of weeks ago, when I spoke to you in the fight week of Chisora and Joyce, I did mention to you if there was any kind of movement regarding a potential fight with Eubank. You said you didn't kind of get that feedback that Eubank wanted that fight. Has there been anything since then, Frank?
Don't want that fight. Otherwise, we'd have made it. There's 2 ways not to have a fight. It's 2 ways. One, you don't want it, and the other to say, I want a stupid purse for it, which means you don't want it because it don't stack up.
But I mean, next for Hamzah Sheeraz, obviously he's out very soon anyway. But exciting future. He's one of the kind of fighters over the last year that we've got huge hopes for.
Yeah, he's done extremely well. You know, when you look at the background he come from, I mean, no one knew him as even though it weren't like he come into sport as a big name, and he's done extremely well. And you know, I like to think we did well, and you know, the whole team worked very hard to. And more importantly, he done, you know, in the ring's done tremendously well, and his trainer, everybody worked very hard, and it's paying off for him. And now he's going to get into some significant fights.
Frank, moving on from there, I think you made some comments regarding Zhang wants to exercise that rematch clause with Joseph Parker. Where are we on that, Frank?
Well, he has the option to do that, and so we're looking on dates and so forth. We're working on a couple of things which we'll be announcing in due course for Big Bang.
Frank, what have you made of this situation with Canelo and Turki Al-Sheikh? Obviously, there's a lot been said from Canelo and HE over the last few days, Frank. I know it's not really kind of to do with you, but I just wanted your kind of opinion on what's been going on.
You know, I think from HE, there's a lot of frustration there because it's a fight he really wanted two big names put together, and for whatever reason, it's not happening. And I think the frustration was showing on that. You know, might get resurrected, who knows? And just got to let the dust settle now. Everything that's been said's been said, and it go from there. But that is the fight that I think a lot of people wanted to see. A lot of people. Would have been interesting seeing the weight, you know, how Crawford cope with the weight disparity.
There's quite a big difference there, isn't there?
Massive.
Frank, what can you tell us about a potential 5v5 event happening again between yourselves and Matchroom?
Oh, definitely. We're definitely going to do that. I mean, we've had some talks about it with HE as well. So we'll see what happens. But we all want to see that happen. It's a great concept and good fights. And we got, you know, both of us have got some good fighters. And you know, I certainly would love to do it again. Absolutely.
Well, I don't blame you, Frank. You won that 5-0, 10-0, whichever one you want to call it. So I'm sure you do.
I'll make it 20-0. That's what I want to do.
Double to double. Frank,
double.
Yeah. Frank, have you obviously been keeping up to date with kind of what's been happening in the Olympics?
Yeah.
Only the one bronze medal for the Team GB.
Yeah, it's a bit disappointing, wasn't it? You know, I think there was some high hopes there, but it didn't work out. But I can remember when I remember signing this roughly about this time, quite a few years ago, when I signed the only medal we got, which was Amir Khan, when he come back with silver medal, having lost to Kimberley. And he was actually our boxing team. There was no one else there, just him on his own. That was our team.
That's mad, isn't it?
Yeah, it is mad, but that was what it was. And yeah, I mean, you know, there's a couple of decisions that were borderline, but you know, it's not a great success, is it? And there's a lot of crap going on there about the moment with this IEBA and is it IEBA? They're all, you know, the organisation that talk about not being allowed in the next Olympic Games, and something has to happen. I noticed I know there's a new group's been formed, and they're looking to be successful. And I think they're getting more people on board, and hopefully they will take over.
The most talked about subjects from the boxing was Imane Khalif, who won gold in the welterweight division on Friday, Frank. I mean, look, there's a kind of a lot that was kind of going around at the time and has been kind of said regarding Khalif's kind of situation in the Olympics. I mean, what did you make of that whole kind of thing that was going on last week?
I don't get it. I mean, she was banned from previous fights, or was it previous tournaments, because she was found to have male chromosomes. Is that correct? I mean, from what I understand.
Gender eligibility test, 2 of them, I believe, yes.
And this time round, maybe because of, I don't know why, but this time it's okay. I don't get that. I'm a big believer in, you know, I'm with Sharon Davis and a lot of people in sport, you know, that transgenders or people who, you know, they have male chromosomes. I don't think that's right for them to be involved in against women in women's sport. And I certainly don't agree with it in boxing, because that's the most dangerous of sports. You're not running or jumping or swimming, you're actually punching somebody. And I don't agree with that. And you're a young girl who's had, you know, ambitions to go and fight in the Olympics. You worked hard to get there, and you suddenly get drawn against somebody who previously was not allowed to box because of the male chromosomes. That can't be right. So for me, I don't think it should have been happening. And if they've got, and if what's her name? I can't remember what the name is. It
Emain Khalif.
all right. So she said she's a woman. I've seen all the comments made. If she is a woman, but with male chromosomes, if that's the case, then fight men. I don't like. I think it's wrong. I think it's wrong, and I think that all this. I don't think any trans athletes should fight women or race against them or anything. If they were born a man and they've had they've changed their sex, then they've done that physically. They've done that to their body, but they've still been born a man. Then what's to stop you still running against men or fighting men? Why you got to fight women? No, I don't agree with it. I don't agree with that. But I'm an old fogey, aren't I? And you get all the wokies come out and whatever. But I don't agree with it. Especially in boxing, it's a very dangerous sport. And the Algerian, she flew through them from this. She beat all of them. And you could see how upset all of them were. We do make the X signs and whatever in the ring. So, you got you feel if what is being said is true, that in previous tests that's what had happened. But the world's crazy at the moment. Some of the stuff I just don't get. I don't know where anybody uses any common sense anymore. I just don't do it. And it's like, I didn't like that Last Supper thing at the opening of the Olympic Games. I'm not a particularly religious person, but if somebody's, if they're a Christian or they're a Muslim or they're a Jew or they're a Buddhist, I respect what their beliefs are. But to depict that with a load of drag stars and whatever, what was that all about? Could you imagine if they'd done something similar to Islam or done it to, whatever, what the uproar had been? I didn't like that.
That offended a lot of people I've seen.
Yeah, and I understand why it'd be offended. You believe in something, it's like ridiculous. What on earth was that all about? It's supposed to be a coming together, the Olympics, not a piss take.
Okay, Frank, listen, I'll just finish off by talking about the 21st. We're nearly there, Wembley, 90,000. This is going to be some event put on, obviously, by Riyadh Season in themselves, and it's going to be some night at Wembley.
Oh, it's a fabulous night. It's going to be, look, first of all, you've got a great fight, and it deserves to be a special night because I think it's a special heavyweight fight. You've got two guys who are on a roll at the moment. They're both big punchers. They're both big men. There's so much on the line for them. There's a bit of history between them. One's with Matchroom, one's with Queensbury. It's it's all part of the Riyadh season, the Wembley Special Edition, and for the Riyadh season, whoever comes through this is going to be involved in a mega fight down the road. So everything's on the line, and the undercard is just unbelievable. Every fight on that undercard is a main event in its own right. And
you're fully convinced that Dubois will knock Joshua out?
And as I was that he would beat Hergovich, and as I was that he would also do the business with Big Baby.
Listen, it's definitely interesting times, and this is everyone's kind of got their split opinion. Some people not really giving Daniel a good chance in that fight. Other people saying that he will trouble Joshua. A lot of questions to be answered, Frank, on September 21st.
Well, there is. And, as I say, they're both big punchers. And it's going to be about who blinks first, heart and mind, who's got the heart and who's got the mindset to carry on with their game plan in the fight. And the first time they get clipped, they hit with a big shot, how they react to it.
Absolutely. How was LA, Frank? Good?
Yeah, it's good. I had to come back early for a family thing, but yeah, it was good. And our young gladiator had a winning debut. I was pleased for him. And it's it was good, and it was a cracking show. It was quite an intriguing fight, the Crawford fight, Madrimov. I thought it was a really for for boxing as someone who appreciates the art of boxing. I thought it was quite an interesting fight.
Are you surprised about Martin Bacoli and Jared Anderson, or not really?
No, well, did I do an interview yet?
No, I
Before the fight?
haven't.
Well, I did. Well, I've done a couple out there, and I said that for me, I wouldn't have made the match for Anderson, and I've said that Anderson's. I've heard a lot. Heard a lot about him. Everyone talks about him, but what I see of him, he hasn't impressed me yet. And we will find out what he's all about, and we did. Bacoli did what he had to do. We know, he's strong, he's a big, capable guy. But I thought, and I'm not taking nothing away from Bacoli, but I thought Anderson was. She shouldn't have been in there.
It's definitely an eventful night in LA. Frank, I will catch up with you this week. Saturday, you'll be at the show. Will you, Frank?
I certainly will, young man.
All right, live on TNT this Saturday night from York Hall. Have you got anything else you'd like to add, Frank?
No, I felt football season starts as well, so I'm going to go to the Arsenal and I'm off to the York Hall.
Right, I'll see you there as well then at the Wolves game.
I'll see you when I'm looking at you.
Definitely. Frank Warren, thank you very much for talking to IFL TV, and we'll catch up with you this week.
Cheers, Coop. See you, mate.
Bye.
Wall Street Memes Casino
I'm fine.
and Sportsbook.